It's happy Monday, everyone. We are back with a bang. Morning and evening, we'll be running our shows. I'm super excited, guys. Come through. You know what? I'm a firm believer that when you're doing the right thing, you can actually see with attacks that you're on the right direction. GEZA now, he's surrounded. They have realized that no, GEZA's moves are not for jokes. He means business. At first, we're like, no, he's just a non-entity. Don't even pay attention. No, Mnangagwa is having sleepless nights by the moves of GEZA. He is. You cannot afford to ignore what's going on currently. I must also say, shout out if you are actually going to Zayoja Church. Those that are going to Zayoja, I'm gonna give you an advice. Do not leave. You're in the right place. Okay, so Guti, the former, no, that's the late Guti's wife, rejected stolen money. She was offered a latest car Toyota and also an amount of 250,000 US dollars. You were talking of big money, is your cash, okay? By thieves, by thugs, those that have destroyed Zimbabwe. But she said, no. I've told you that what they focus on now is to pollute the Church of Jesus Christ. I saw Tagwire gallivanting at Makandiwa's church. In fact, there was a flyer that was circulating where he was supposed to be the preacher. Make it make sense, the preacher. And then he started sliding again to the Zayaja's church. I remember promising them churches. But in a country where there are no industries, he's promising churches. That's when you know that you are dealing with evil and wicked people. They understand the power the church plays or the role the church plays in 2025. A church is a custodian of truth, of sanity, of respect, of morals. That's where you can find the compass of truth. But unfortunately, in Zimbabwe, it's a different story. Majority of the churches have been polluted by the ZANU-PF regime. Oh, by Mnangagwa and his bodies. So I respect Guti's wife for rejecting stolen money. Respect. That's one of the reasons why people were after Ian Lovo. What are you talking about? You have been saying you're a prophet. Guys, you know prophecy. Do you know what prophecy is? Okay, go and study your Bible, then you have understanding. Some people are just doing commentaries. They're just there on YouTube making money. They've got their own agenda. Unfortunately, we are desperate for solutions. So everyone and everything looks like it. But I want you to be sober and vigilant and be careful and be warned at the same time. All right, guys, I know some of you just joined me for the first time. This is Rumi and Center, and I want to say welcome to you. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel before you leave and make sure that at least you can ring the bell because the bell is very important. You don't want to miss any of the content that I drop right here. And let me tell you, my regulars just joined me. It doesn't matter how early it is, people are at work. Everyone is desperate to know the way forward. I want to say to you guys, you know the culture. Thumbs up the video as we move along. It's very important so that we can also push algorithm inviting everyone. We need to converse. Zimbabwe is an interesting space for the moment. And you cannot afford to miss anything that's going on as we are heading towards the freedom of our people. At this moment, we are all chained by thieves, criminals, who think they've got it under control, but it's just a matter of time before they fall. So like I mentioned earlier on, that Mnangagwa is under pressure because GEZA has given him sleepless nights. Okay, now he has hired ACIE LUMUMBA. Do you guys remember ACIE LUMUMBA? Let me just tell you, I used to respect ACIE LUMUMBA a lot, okay? Because I used to look at him like this very smart guy. But I came to a realization, talking good English is not equal to wisdom. There are so many people who have a certificate on the wall, but very dumb, you know? And I think he has just joined the camp. I'm referring to ACIE LUMUMBA. He came out here, said a lot of stuff, which I want you guys to listen a little bit later on. But by the way, Botswana is trending. Botswana is doing incredibly well. The new president, Duma Boko, means business. That's what we need in Zimbabwe. A person who's serious, who means business. Not who means politics. Not who is entertaining bootlickers. Not who is being pushed by people's shenanigans. Because let me just tell you, there are so many who can't wait to pollute the next leader. They can't wait because they're always desperate to be in the government for packs. And at this time, I've been saying, remove some of those packs. Then you can see who genuinely want to serve and that they are there for the things. And those that are getting in for things are the ones that are always cause chaos. So Duma Boko is trending, and he is coming out here promising the Botswanans that no, guys, here we are not going to play. We are going to do the work. So if you are not that kind of a person, please leave now. We mean business. Take a listen, please. You can't separate Zimbabwe and Botswana, never. Take a listen.
So this is what Botswana is about. This is what the country now wants to see. And we are changing it. It's going to change. Big time. Seriously. Massively. Quickly. And that means some of the time we are going to go upstream against the tide. We are going to break free of the old molds that have constrained us, thwarted and prevented spectacular success for the country. We're going to change all those. I say this, and I say it repeatedly. I say it because it has attracted some pushback, some counter-narratives. He's trying to be a dictator. No. Not being a dictator. It's an appreciation that if we have 3 years, we're not going to behave as if we have 58 years. I don't have 58 years. I don't want 58 years. I don't need 58 years. So even if you gave me 58 years, I'll still do what I'm doing, because I want this to change in the shortest possible time. And it's going to change. So the rules of engagement, rules of cooperation are themselves going to have to change. Maybe along the way with the personnel. We have to ask, are the people that are supposed to drive this rapid change properly suited? Are they the right people? Are they agile? Can they work through the night? Civil servant goes to sleep. You call them, they tell you, I'm sleeping. One of the folks that I work with called one of them, and the guy says, no, I'm in bed. He says, I'm in the office. It's 11 o'clock p.m. What you hear? He came in his pajamas to show that he was at work. We don't care how you are dressed. We care that the work gets done. When the sun rises and we step out, it must be prim and proper.
You see, they're serious in Botswana. And I just want to say, congratulations to Botswana. I can't wait to wake up in Zimbabwe where we have proper leaders. I mean, people who mean business. I'm talking about execution. What I'm seeing currently is a shame. It is a shame. I can't even begin to fathom that Mnangagwa still call himself a president, because I could have left if I was Mnangagwa. What is he doing? You were sleeping in Russia there. He was sleeping. He's sleeping, literally. After he's actually having sleepless nights because GEZA is kind of making moves that is terrifying him. He has been exposed, heavily exposed. He doesn't know what game to play. But anyway, again, the Zimbabwean story is a heartbreaking one. But there is a post that was dropped by a farmer that once stayed in Zimbabwe. He was a farmer in Zimbabwe. Now he's not a farmer in Cape Town. Okay. You know, one thing that I've realized that we are not very smart of as Zimbabweans is that we actually don't realize how much our hatred has destroyed us. Nothing else have ruined Zimbabwe except hatred. Guys, if you want to fail in life, just hurt. Just hurt and nothing will work. I'm not the person who would say white people were bad. No, I think some of them were bad, but we were not supposed to chase them out of the country. That was not wisdom, honestly. Because sometimes you need to know your strength and you need to know your weaknesses. And then you work together with people. Those that left, somewhere into Cape Town, somewhere into Zambia, and they're doing incredibly well there. Imagine if they were in Zimbabwe, where would we be today? You see, not only did we chase, now we are chasing each other. Zimbabwe is the mentality, poverty mentality. Imagine a family where another sibling is chasing another sibling. Will that family succeed? Absolutely not. We have a problem. We can't just appreciate each other's talents. But let me read what he wrote. Very heartbreaking. He wrote that message on Twitter. His name is Rory Duncan. He said, some days my mind wanders back to a farm I managed in the eastern highlands of Zimbabwe in the late 80s. It was something special. We produced apples, peaches, pears, and kiwi fruit for local and export markets. We grew broccoli and cauliflower for the frozen vegetable market and did seed potatoes for a major contract. Or on a large scale, I'm talking about 1,000 of tons of produce. We had a herd of Jersey cows for milking and made butter and cream. We plowed huge hectares to grow maize, sweet potato, and vegetables for the farm workers. We had a junior school there with a headmaster and 5 classes. Can you see the organization? We had a clinic with a permanent nursing sister with maids and staff. We had a church with a pastor and a football team, competing in provincial leagues, every worker. 550 of them lived in a brick home with electricity, running water, and a wood stove with unlimited firewood. There was a large store that provided everything from blankets to bicycles. There was a section of a farm dedicated to wildlife conservation, where the proactive workers committee and had regular updates and meetings and professionally integrated management systems. We had huge refrigeration facilities and a modern pack shed with a fleet of trucks. The engineering division had everything it needed, including skilled workers to maintain a large estate. We had a bookkeeping division. Everything worked and our people were cherished. We had adult literacy courses in the evening at the farm hall and transport functioning hospitals at any time of the day or night. We had professional security services with a canine unity, a football field with a coach and smart uniforms, and boots provided to the teams. The annual turnover was in the multiple millions and the wage spend was huge, as was the tax bill. We spent millions on tractors, implements, fertilizers, and fuels. Today, it is a village of substance, level agriculture, all of it gone with hardly a memory of what was once there. Why? Due to his disruptive Zimbabwe experience. Duncan's family is scattered across the world. And my heart breaks when I hear the resume of Zimbabwe, how incredible the country has been. Every day when I wake up and realize that Mnangagwa is still the president of Zimbabwe, I feel sick in my stomach. I feel like we are failures of the failures, including I. Because honestly, our country stands for absolutely nothing. We stand for nothing. And if we don't correct it now, I don't know what's going to happen to the next generations. Because not only are we failing to do what's right, but also we have polluted the next generation. My heart bleeds that one day we wake up and there won't be no country. There won't be no, because the damage that Mnangagwa has caused in this regime is beyond words. That the best thing we can do as a country is to stop him now. This man is on a mission to destroy almost everything. He wants to die and leave Zimbabwe gone. It doesn't surprise me when I hear that he was working with the Smith regime. Sometimes I feel like he's on an assignment. I feel like he's a hired gun to just ruin everything, making sure that we have nothing, absolutely nothing. And I really believe that we need to stand up now and do what's right and say, no, guys. It's not about you being a president. It's about this country that is in a mess. We can't afford to keep on lying to each other. We cannot afford that. But anyway, I can see that people are starting talking about the new generation. And I saw Nelson Chamisa is opened, he actually has a YouTube channel now. The YouTube channels, for those that have not subscribed, is called Chamisa News Network, CNC. It's like kind of linking to his WhatsApp channel. And for those that have not subscribed, please go out there because he spoke about interesting things. I want you to listen. He's talking about the generational consensus. I've always been saying about this, that the young people need to take part. They need to stand up and really, really rescue themselves from this mess that Emmerson Mnangagwa and his regime created. It doesn't work. So listen to Chamisa introducing his YouTube channel. Guys, you can also rush there and subscribe if you have not.
Thank you, guys. Thank you out there. This is Generational Consensus, a massive platform, a massive movement, an idea whose time has come. This is what you must all be part of because it's a game changer. You are part of the story. Be the scripter, be the writer, be the player. I'm asking you to be part of this Generational Consensus, which is an idea to make sure that young people are claiming their stake in nation building, in building a future, in framing a way forward for our country. Yes, I'm part of it. This is not just about young people. It's also about older generations accepting and having a consensus that yes, the young people must now take over. This is about taking over. This is about the old generation handing over to us, the young ones, to complete the agenda of the liberation struggle in transformation, in liberation, but not only in liberation, in also modernizing our country, in democratizing our country. So yes, guys, let's be part of this great game. Thank you.
All right, yeah, you had more. You need to be part of the new generation consensus. I'm a firm believer that any country that somebody has to just do things according to what he wants without listening to the people and say, hey, what do you think works? And in Zimbabwe is easy to resolve. If you've got a problem with engineering, call all the engineers and ask them questions. What can we do? They'll tell you what to do. If you have a problem, anything, call the experts. Zimbabweans will tell you what to do. Farmers, if you call all of them, they will tell you what is needed. But unfortunately, Mnangagwa is disrespectful, so he thinks he can do whatever he wants. You know what his children and everyone who's bootlicking him wants is what he does. It's because he knows that he has nothing to offer. You know, when you are incompetent, you are afraid of being around the competent people, which is actually ignorant. Because if you're smart, you bring all the competent people so that they can cover up your weaknesses. Because being a president is just overseeing on things. Majority of the stuff, you don't do them. So why are you afraid? Make use of those who are smart and let them push the agenda of building a nation. You know what? And then that will automatically cover you up. But I don't know how he thinks. I don't know how he thinks, honestly. Because the country is in a mess because of his ignorance. The guy is incompetent. The guy is ignorant. The guy is clueless. The guy is, I don't even know how he woke up and have such a person as a leader. That's why I'm careful, though. I'm careful about the next president in Zimbabwe. And I think under normal circumstances, we would be having interviews. What are you there to offer? Including Chamisa, including whoever politician, whoever, if it can be, they've been talking about Chiwenga. Talk to him. What is it that he's going to offer the people of Zimbabwe? Because it's not just placing a person, it's having a structure. Guys, we are sick and tired of confusion and chaos. We are sick and tired of being manipulated by only bullies. Because remember, ZANU-PF is pegged with bullies. They believe that if they are violent, they're just going to get away with stuff. I pray in the next Zimbabwe, we won't be surrounded by bullies. Just because you are closer to someone who's got a position, that does not give you power to bully everyone around. You can see how they communicate on social media. You can see their lies. These people fabricate lies to destroy relationships. That's what they do. Because you know why? They have nothing to offer, majority of them. They just have a ZANU-PF card. I've been seen running around, even in all these political spaces. Most of them don't have nothing to offer, except I've been seen running around a politician for a long time. That does not qualify you to be a leader. I say to people, take away the perks, and you're going to see who is genuinely there to serve. Remove the perks within the parameters of the government. Remove them, and I can guarantee you, you will see who's genuine there to serve and who isn't. Because people just want things, want to belong. I can have houses, I can have cars. That's what's on their mind. Not I can serve people. Yeah, I always say, I studied somewhere out there, and I never knew who was the minister of what, who was the minister of what. We didn't have a clue. That will prove to you that these guys don't even understand what serving people means. I mean, with all these institutions, we have members of parliament, we have councillors, we have ministers, we have these senators. But guys, the country is a mess. China everywhere, which means they are doing nothing. Because we wouldn't be having a mess that we have in the country if these people were genuinely there to work. No, we wouldn't. They don't even know the people that they're serving. In fact, they walk around like gods. Bullying everyone who's paying their salary. They are so ignorant than to be humble and ask, how can I serve you? No, these ones are different. They're actually bullying people. Guys, what is leadership? What is being a servant? We need to redefine all these things, because majority of them I can see, even on social media, how they treat women. Because they're just bullying everyone. Because they're thinking by just me being closer to someone, I can find myself with a position. That mentality is the reason why Zimbabwe is in a mess. Look at Botswana, they came in, their leadership, no fights, just simple conversations. Classy, guys, when are we going to be classy? Sometimes I do, to just sit around the table having a cup of coffee and really speak. We don't have to agree, but we must understand that Zimbabwe comes first before all our wants and our needs, because we are simply individuals. We have our own families. Why do we want to reduce the nation to our own personal ambitions? It's a shame that we think in the way that we do. Anyway, moving forward, like I said, Mnangagwa was sleeping. He was sleeping actually in Russia. He went there to sleep. I could not believe it. Guys, who can sleep at a dinner table? Sleep at the dinner table where everybody are engaging, but I don't blame him because they don't know how to engage. You know, man, Holy Spirit help me. You know, I've been saying this. Sometimes I look at how our people behave, especially within the government. You can see whether they have their meetings, my copy, my keto, my chips, my juicy, you see my orange crush, my butter. You can see, but they are so confused. I can't begin to, even when even if you're hosting people, you can't have all manner of things. They're in a meeting, remember, it's a meeting that because the country is so backward. They don't understand that when you're getting in a meeting, it's your small little cup of tea or water and a notebook to write. And you are there to collect information and go and do the work. No, these ones, they're coming to eat chips, it's a shame. It's embarrassing. And this is a minister of information, the one that is lying, that has got 2 PhDs. And I'm referring to Jen Van Musquere. The guy is a flipping liar. He lied to the Zimbabwean people. He's not even a qualified guy. But that's what Mnangagwa does. Everybody that he hired who were incompetent, he gave them fake degrees. Serious, a man who's lying to the people that he's supposed to save, and then he's being called a president. No. I know some people think that I'm not being personal here. I'm saying things as they are. Because if we do not do that, generations are going to mock us. We have failed ourselves. We have failed. And it's a shame. It is a shame. I see some of people back Africa nyembe. I look at them and I feel pity. It's not just wearing nyembe. It's not about that. It's not about the uniform. It's not about a title. It's about the service that you offer. It's about the quality of respect that you offer to the people. But not the ones in Zimbabwe. They hail positions more than they can hail the impact in society. No, so now the hired gun, ACIE LUMUMBA, is out here. I've told you I used to respect ACIE LUMUMBA, but now I've lost my respect. But it's out here and he's trying to water down GEZA. But I want you to listen carefully because there's a lot that you're going to learn there. I can't believe it's ACIE LUMUMBA, honestly. I cannot believe it's ACIE LUMUMBA. It's a sad situation. But he's here. He's out here lying. He's trying to defend Kudata Gwire. He's trying to sell Emmerson Mnangagwa. He's trying to convince the Zimbabwean people to say GEZA is just a non-entity. If GEZA is a non-entity, they won't hire you to come out here and be talking. If GEZA is a non-entity, they wouldn't even hire you to come here and be talking. That's one I can tell you. I've always been saying, once people are reacting to something, you are doing a great thing. You are especially in Zimbabwe. When you're doing right, they've got a tendency of buying people to come in and start attacking you, say ugly things so that they can sway those that are really focused on stupid stuff. That's what ACIE LUMUMBA is doing now. He has been hired to come and cause a chaos. Take a listen, please.
I want to unpack what is good in Zimbabwe and
I don't know if you can hear him well.
Where do we go next? I haven't been that active in politics, but I realize perhaps I need to chip in. I want to talk about GEZA. I'm going in a minute to help you understand him better. And I also want to talk about, I want to go back to Kudakwa. But this time, I'm hoping you can understand it better. Let me give some context to this. There is factional politics in Zimbabwe, 100%. There is factional politics across the world. There is factional politics in South African politics, in ANC politics, in the United Kingdom politics, and American politics. So push aside the idea that is it factional politics or not. There is factional politics, okay? Now, I want to talk about then why does GEZA matter? Or does it? Let me give a disclaimer. I have never met GEZA. I don't know GEZA. He strikes me as somebody who's on a suicide mission. And he's not just on a suicide mission, he's wearing a suicide vest and he wants to take others with him. Let me explain. Anytime I see someone who is always by themselves and it's only them who's speaking, it's a red flag to me. It makes me realize that what GEZA is doing is not about GEZA. It's about, sorry, what GEZA is doing is not about you. It's about him. So I don't believe that GEZA understands the future that he wants to campaign for. I'm not sure there's any business or investor who, if GEZA ever walked into your office, you would take him seriously. He's not fit for medical policy anywhere in the world. If he walks into any medical insurance, they consider him high risk. They wouldn't give him one. If he walks into a funeral parlor, they wouldn't even give him a funeral policy. I have nothing against GEZA. I don't know him, like I said. I just want you to understand that GEZA is not the answer. In fact, GEZA will get you hurt. I will start listening to GEZA when he starts aligning with Hopewell, Chingodo, when he starts aligning with Nelson Chamisa, when he starts aligning with Kudapashi Musasiwa. They've all been there before doing exactly the same thing that he thinks he's doing. Why is he not going to sit down with them first? In fact, before you had even started this, one of the fundamental pillars that made November work when the coup that's not a coup happened is there was very, very good alignment and interdependence from invested groups, organizations, and political associations. That was a very big secret to it. I don't trust GEZA. So whatever it is that you think he's doing, I know he will end you in a lot of trouble. There's a reason the Ivan where we recorded it didn't work. That maybe I've never spoken about or I've never heard anybody speak about. It's whenever you do this kind of things, like stairways, like marches, like coming out on the streets, the trouble and the problem is, in the end, people go home. So you're talking about people who come out, they wear a flag, the Thai flag on their necks, even if the police don't touch them. But at a certain point, they have to go home, they have microwave food that they must eat. They have school tomorrow, work tomorrow, and they stop. The revolts that have worked the greatest are revolts where people don't go home. So you cannot make it an event, you have to make it a revolt. And that's very, very dangerous for me to think about a revolt that is led by GEZA. So sorry, I'm not on the bus. I'm not on the bus. But now let me talk about Queen B. I also have to equally give context and back story to this. I want to give a disclaimer that I actually know Kudakwasha Tagire. I baptized into Seventh-day Adventist many years ago, and Kuda Tagire's wife, sister, and brother are part of the reason I even ended up going to Christ. So I want to give context to that. But I also want to remind you, I'm the same person who introduced you to Queen B, who told you that Kudakwasha Tagire had a lot of people on his fingers. I was hired to work for the Ministry of Finance in Zimbabwe, lost the job before I even got the Wi-Fi password, but I need to have the context so that you understand if I'm biased or not biased. So I say that to say, I am not giving this perspective from the perspective of somebody who is biased towards him or against him. I'm giving this perspective from somebody who understands the inner workings of government and inner workings of interdiplomacy. Listen to this. In the year 2020, Kuda Tagire was added to the Zimbabwe sanctions list. He was newcomer to the list, equally the same with President Mnangagwa's son. They were added to the sanctions list. Well, they were added to the sanctions list by the United States Treasury Department and the UK Foreign Sanctions Office. They were then graduated to a new list called McKinsey program, which now makes it global. What the sanctions intended to do is they intended to answer a question that how do we control whoever is in control of the Zimbabwean economy? Here.
Okay, I don't even want to finish whatever he's saying, but he's talking absolutely stupid stuff. I don't have time for people like LUMUMBA. But this is very important because you can actually hear how Zimbabweans, most of Zimbabweans think, especially those that are calling them scholars. You know, the ones with big mouth. That talks a lot. And I'm always saying to you, one of the reasons why Zimbabwe is so stuck is because the good people are quiet. And they allow all these foolish guys who are very greedy, who are more of bootlickers, and who get paid by wicked men who are stealing money from the country, and they get paid big money to just push a narrative. Good people, why are you quiet? Because while you're quiet, these ones are talking. Before you know it, they pollute society. He's talking absolutely nonsense. Out of all that he has said, I never heard him addressing the problems of Zimbabweans. That's a red flag for me. Because when GEZA came out here, he's talking about issues that Zimbabweans are facing. We don't care about who took you to the church and you gave your life to Christ. Try to give this resume like Kudata Gure is a God-fearing man. He's not. The guy's deceiving the church of Jesus Christ. I can tell him in his face, I've said it since I came here, Kudata Gure is a deceiver. He's using the church to manipulate them. How on earth can you be found at the forefront of stealing money from a nation, and only in return you come and open churches? You build a church, not industries. People don't have jobs. The hospitals are not working. You build a small hospital outside of the city and say, come here to this hospital. It's about control, manipulation, deceiving people, and destroying society with lies and toxicity. That's what they've done. Weaken the power that human beings have to make choices. Imagine only have one hospital that he says, no, come here to my hospital. You don't have a choice. You can't choose. But the last time I checked, we used to have hospitals that function across the country. But today there's nothing. Absolutely nothing. So anyone who comes out here and try to speak about Mnangagwa Gure, not talk about the problems and the thieving that's going on in the country and all these allegations, is not serious. Talk to me about why Kudata Gure is not answering us every time we see reports that has all the loot that's happening in Zimbabwe. Kudata Gure's name is at the forefront. Be it in the United Kingdom, be it in the States, be it South Africa, be it the other last time was Mauritius. Kudata Gure is at the forefront. Mnangagwa and the Reserve Bank are endorsing the financial illicit flows. You don't talk about that, but what you want to sell Kudata Gure, which is the right person, you are telling people that GEZA cannot get a funeral policy. He can't get insurance. That's a lie. That is a lie. I mean, in South Africa, you can, even if you are almost dying, you can get insurance, you can get policy. They don't care. But you can just have the one with the high risk. So this talking nonsense is disrespectful. Address the issues of the Zimbabwean people. What are you going to tell about people stealing money from the country? It's there out there. It's not like it's a lie. If I'm lying, he must come out, Kudata Gure, and say it is a lie. He knows it's true. He knows it's the truth. So don't listen to ACIE LUMUMBA. He's talking absolutely nonsense. He's trying to propel Emmerson Mnangagwa a brutal regime, which we are not going to stand. Emmerson Mnangagwa needs to go. He has to step down. He is not what we are looking for. He cannot be able to serve the people of Zimbabwe. This guy have ruined our country. Oh, the fact that you're actually buying people to do evil works and lie, for me, is the worst that any leader can ever do, or any who's pretending to be a leader. Because if I say leader, I'm actually lying, because these are people are not leaders. Leaders are not like that. Leaders push the people first. So anyone who's listening to ACIE LUMUMBA is not serious. Drop that nonsense. Don't be fooled. Don't be deceived. They are sent to water down GEZA's efforts. Listen, yo, GEZA is to hold accountable. Because he's out here talking about everything that Emmerson Mnangagwa was doing wrong. Everything that People who are within the government institutions are doing wrong. And we haven't here. We still have going to hear more and more. So that we, the Zimbabwean people, decide, are we willing to carry on like this or not? You know, if GEZA was that, I mean, it's just common sense. If GEZA was not that important, they wouldn't be paying all this money. If someone told me that money is being exchanged in Zimbabwe in a way that will shock you, money. So sometimes I always say to myself, what are we standing for, Zimbabweans, if we can be played by one man? One man loot the country dry, loot the whole country dry. You know, his advisor is on record that the children are looting more than the budget of the Zimbabwean economy. And then he takes that money, comes back to you. Guys, when are you going to wake up? Being played by an 80-something-year-old man. Make it make sense, Zimbabweans. Make it make sense. And these are many fathers, husbands, going back home, being played by an 80-something-year-old. When are you going to wake up and do the right thing? I'm sorry, it's nonsense. It's nonsense. Even when I look at LUMUMBA, I used to feel pity. I'm no longer feel pity for this guy. He's not serious. He doesn't even realize how deep the problem of Zimbabweans are. We are looking for a country that works, not talking about who baptized you or who do what. Why are they on sanction list? These are not the only people that are running businesses in Zimbabwe. In fact, there are so many successful business people that are not on sanction lists. They are there because they've committed crimes. And these countries don't play. I must still even be shocked that even after the money that was in South Africa recently of the 1.1 billion rand that was looted from Zimbabwe on this fake election, people just want to sweep that under the carpet. You come out to LUMUMBA and you are in South Africa as we speak, but you can't even say, guys, what happened with your vice money? You are trying to lie because you guys have been paid. It's obvious. There's no Zimbabwean who's sane can support what's going on in the country today. No sane human being can do that. You're talking about, you must hold the ends with Opochingona. Why Opochingona? Opochingona came with his own government in exile, which fell flat. But was he a bad person? No, he just tried with an idea that didn't work. Why would you want it GEZA to be? Why would they can stand up and still do something? No one ever closed the door. Anyone who thinks has got an idea that can put a stop to the evil in the country, go ahead and do it. But trying to sabotage someone and lie, which say that the person is not able, that is nonsense. The last time I checked, even the owner of KFC started something very late. Anyway, do you know what destiny does? It's not about your age. It's about your heart. It's about your soul. Human beings, God doesn't care. He just cares about a person who's available to be used at that time to do his will. So please, don't listen to ACIE LUMUMBA. Focus. Zimbabweans, focus on your freedom. You're not here to protect individuals who are keeping you in oppression. No. This time, we no longer care about money. Zimbabweans, please, I'm begging you. This thing is going to collapse on you if you don't do the right thing now. It's not those that are taking the money. It will collapse on you. Don't be too comfortable. Cars and houses mean nothing compared to destiny. Material things will not take you anywhere. Guys, life is more than what you guys see with your own eyes. So please do the right thing and just debunk all this nonsense of LUMUMBA and focus. The revolution is as simple as the Zimbabwean people. Then you can hold GEZA to account. It's that simple. Not focusing on people who are eating and drinking and come here and try to tell you nonsense to take you off destiny. Focus. Anyone who is not addressing our issues, he is a useless person right now. That's why I don't like Emmerson Mnangagwa. I'm expecting him to come out and say, guys, I know you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 things that you're complaining about. I think let's come together and find a solution. No, he doesn't want. You know why? Because he knows that he'll be caught. He knows he'll be caught in his tracks of lies. Otherwise, what is the reason of failing? Even Chakwera, who failed dismally in Malawi in terms of leadership. Chakwera is incompetent from my understanding. I saw him sitting down with the Malawians and asking questions. What do you think about this country? What do you want me to change? And people were talking to him. It wasn't easy. Youth people were saying to him, you are not the leader we are looking for. And he had to swallow that. But Emmerson Mnangagwa is always running away from real conversations. Except where he sit down and be saying, no, ask me this question. No, don't ask me this. Everyone who bootlicks him jumping up and down is what he follows. He's not serious. And we cannot build a country dealing with a person who's just taking us down the drain. Definitely doesn't work. LUMUMBA, discard that one. Let's keep our focus. Moving on, please. All right, like I said, Mnangagwa is sleeping in Russia. He's actually sleeping. He went to sleep. Taxpayers' money to go there and just sleep. Ukaona munhu akurara akagara patable yekudya chikafu munhu iyega, honestly the person is not fit for purpose. Emmerson Mnangagwa is not fit for purpose. I agree with GEZA. He is not capable. It's time for us to let goodbye say. And whatever that's going to come after now, I support it as far as Mnangagwa is concerned. But I want to read some of the comments from the Zimbabwean people because like I must say, I respect the Zimbabweans for dealing with LUMUMBA well. So Skoko said, you used to be a great until those evil bastards crippled you. But to most Zimbabweans, GEZA has a hope. Anyone working to unsettle ZANU-PF is my full support. Let him wear the suicide vest with pride to free and expose those Tagure looters. And the suicide vest is just threats, try to threaten you to say, don't follow him. That's a lie. In fact, I'm going to follow him until we cross. I, as Rumbi, I stand with GEZA. If he does something I'm going to tell him. But at this juncture, I believe in whatever he's saying. Anyone who's pointing out evil in our country, I follow. It is that simple. Mandla said, go back to your hibernation hall and close your mouth. Who doesn't know that the likes of yourself and Rutendo to do Taguire's bidding for cramp handouts? I agree. Some of them were given 100,000 rand. Imagine destroying your destiny for 100,000 rand. It's there on record because these people give you money, they don't hide because they want to expose you. And Mugret said, and then Hugh Bill said, 11 minutes of my airtime wasted listening to this merry-go-around about nothing speech. I'm sure you have better things to do. You have better things to do than coming here posting nonsense. Concentrate on your health, well-being, fanam, than being a clown, pano. All the comments were negative. I don't even know what he was. I'm sure he will never come back again because he knows that his way has been wiped out. That's why I'm loving Zimbabweans. They know exactly how to stop the shit in 2025. Mind my words, but they're very good. They know exactly how to stop nonsense and respect for that. See, kids, okay, people are just being funny, man. They just come with some funny names. His name is Bay Judge. He said, Aga kam karangaka and defend agaterra. Okay, some of the words are bad, so I can't read. Wasted 11 minutes of my life listening to rubbish. That is Prudy. And undo Viembuzi AC, people were just pissed. I mean, some of them were bad. Oh, I can't read this. Really very nasty comments. I can never. Please go back into your shadows where you have been hiding. Welcome back. As narrative here, comrade. Apana, you're wasting our time. Some people say, go look after your health. You are in a mess. GEZA is a former minister, former director of intelligence, war veterans, military general, and served with your father in military intelligence, and mostly crafted the November coup with you and Anakuda at KG6. So you know what, Esu, go and get a life. Some of the words are horrible. People don't care. GEZA is not as dumb as people think. I mean, he's a very intelligent guy. When he speaks, he knows his game. He's not like, guys, listen, I am here supporting GEZA, okay? We'll see when we get there what's going to happen. But at this juncture, GEZA is the man that I'm following. I'm not seeing anybody here who's coming out and confronting Emerson. Why would I now following a man who's just coming and try to propel a criminal, a man who has, for me, as much as I know that Mnangagwa is not a great because he's a president, I always want to put all the weight of the wrongs in the country on him because he has got the power to stop it. But honestly, I see Kudata Guren being the devil that people should actually, I don't know how this, I'm going to sit next. I will not be in the same room with Kudata Guren. I will never be in the same room with him. I will never be in the same room with Emmerson Mnangagwa. Never in my lifetime. I feel sick when I sit next to evil people. I feel sick. If you are mistreating people, I can't stand people like that. Never in my lifetime. So I can never be in one room with Kudata Gure. Never. I'll walk out. Because you know what? When you're deceiving people, you are worse than the Lucifer himself. To deceive to a point where the country crumbled. The country is, guys, I can't. When billions and billions of dollars are leaving and you are at the forefront of stealing that money, you come out, you want to tell, you're giving people some changes. I'm sorry. I know some of you are going to come, nah, where's the evidence? I have the evidence. Zimbabweans have the evidence. Everyone who knows the truth. Who doesn't know that Kudata Gure is at the forefront of looting the money in the country? Who doesn't know? It's there in black and white. He must go. Emmerson Mnangagwa needs to go. Really needs to go. There's no way. There's a lot of nasty comments. If you want to go, you can go and check it on X. But horrible comments from Zimbabweans. Zimbabweans are angry. Like, again, I give it to you because you know your story. You are no longer going to be played by stupid people because they say they've got the money. Only a fool and those that are being paid, they're doing their dirty bidding online. Maybe we'll stand for them. I don't have time for these kind of people. He has failed. Emerson has failed. 48,000 students have dropped out of school. I'm saying when you see papers, like Zimbabwean papers reporting that 48,000 students dropped out of school, you must know that that number is actually not correct. It may even be 10 times or multiplied. They're just simply trying to make it sound better. So 48,000 for me, it may talk about 1 million or so, okay, or 1,000. And honestly, knowing these people and what they do, 13,000 students, teens, babies, pregnant, and some of them are dropping out of school. 13,000 babies. Okay, I'm talking about a teenager is a baby. My teens, these sweethearts, are babies. 13,000. And I said, when you see their numbers, they're not even recording what's going on in the outskirts. Remember, maybe it may just be around Harare because this government seems to be a Harare government. That's what I know it is a Harare government where they're just doing all the stealing and looting and destroying. Otherwise, what's going on out there? Nothing. The country is in a mess because they are not there to serve. They're there to take and collect and just leave people suffering. 13,000 children being pregnant. Should we just close our doors and go home? Honestly, like, I just can't. 13,000 children, babies, 13,000. So when you see this, maybe even, maybe in thousands, maybe 100,000, who knows what? It's a shame. And men and women are going to work every day, getting a salary, getting expensive cars, just to drive around, sitting in those spaces, nothing to show, they're not fixing anything except taking and taking and taking, waiting for small little money that we drop, they take. Tax that comes, they take. Money that from that, they take. We send money to our parents, they take. I mean, guys, honestly, this country, this is not it. Fathers, stand up and put a stop to it. I believe in you. I believe in you. Do it. Do it for generations. You will not fail. Once you stand for what's right, you will never fail. That I know for sure. God will back you up. I've seen these guys fighting people, but they've never fought me because they know that I'm actually helping them. I don't know how many CIO people I've prayed for. I don't know, they phoned me and they had an agenda, but I prayed for them. I said, put the phone down, let me pray for you. So that God can open your eyes and open your mind to understand that you're being abused and used. Tomorrow you're going to look back and say, how dumb was I? How stupid was I to do the things that I'm doing today? We can do better as a country. Anyway, there's a story that has been trending. One of the things, I look at Facebook, I haven't even want to tap into the entertainment of Zimbabwe because there's a lot of chaos. And I want structures in order. So I normally just sit from a distance, then I mind my business. But this story that has been trending of a woman called Mai Jeremiah, hey? And she was alleging that she was violated. That's what she's alleging. No, she's alleging that she was violated by people who wanted to do business with her. And when I looked at all this reporting, etc., there's something that caught my eye was she went and met these people at a lodge, okay, at a lodge. And knowing lodges very well, yes, of course, lodges have got a space where you can actually be able to dine. Based on my understanding, I've got some people who work there. I've never booked myself in a lodge, not in my lifetime. No, I've never done that. But I've seen lodges. I've got my friends who own lodges, so I've been there. I've seen people who've got places that they can dine and do whatever they want to do. But what is interesting, my understanding is a lodge. If you are sitting down and having a meeting and dining as a businesswoman, people are there. It's an open plan place. So you can't claim to say you've been violated. Otherwise, it could have been known immediately that there's a problem, right? So then if you are now getting into a room with someone you want to do a business with, to me, that's a red flag. Honestly, like I said, I don't have the nitty-gritties, but just looking at the small little pieces, and then again, you come to social media as a person who's been violated, and then you're joking about it. You see that? I'm not saying you were not violated, but I'm saying you're joking. Honestly, guys, if someone violates me, I'm like a bulldog. But you are coming and making a joke out of it. What I don't like is that then with time, those that may genuinely report, people will never take them serious. But how on earth can you actually be meeting clients at a lodge, right? You see that. And then, honestly, like, you know, sometimes you need, when you're running a business, you must know that business and pleasure can never meet. Listen, I've been running my business for more than 9 years. You know, property business, meeting really the big, you know, when you're doing property, you meet people with real, genuine money. And you meet all types of, some of them can even buy because you're just good looking, you know. They keep on coming back. So I know what I'm talking about. But because I used to even bring my clients to my house, we can sometimes dine with my clients at my house. You know why? Because I'm very much of like my personality is quite tricky, you know. And we so knew how to draw the line. So if we were meeting and we were having lunch or we were doing whatever we were doing, we knew exactly that you can't cross this line. It's definitely strictly business that we are running and we can close. And once we close, you go away, but we still, so most of my clients are still buddies today. Well, they're like family to me, right? So for some reason, you are meeting people and there are no fine lines. Yes, Zimbabwe may be bad, but to what extent? To what extent can you be with someone in a room and you're doing a business? Where do you draw the line? Right? You see that. I know it's bad, but to what extent? Did they take you and run away with you? Were you just sitting and talking? What happened? Where are the nitty-gritties? What really happened? What happened? I don't get to understand. Because it's one thing, because I know women very well, things are bad in Zimbabwe. Sometimes when people kind of try to act like they've got money, whatever, women sometimes buy into it. And I mean, it makes a lot of sense. But I genuinely have a lot of questions. I have a lot of questions to ask, because then maybe we need to sit down and talk, women. Ladies, let's talk. What is it running a business? What is it when you're dealing with a client? Like, honestly, I'm not saying the boys were right or wrong. I'm not saying she's bad or anything. I'm just having a lot of questions. As a businesswoman, and you can actually tell that this man is no longer one business. You can tell by the conversation. You know, I've been talking to men for a long time. You know it. You're not dumb. Okay, you're a grown woman. I mean, she's not even a wife, isn't it? She's a wife. And sometimes we get so swayed and run around with things. Let's ask the right questions, so that we actually know what's really going on. Let's ask the right questions. Let's not just be swayed with things. All right, ask the right questions. Okay, ask the right questions. All right, guys, that's all I have for you this morning. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and thumbs up the video before you leave. And I'll see you later on. We're gonna be together here because I'm seeing that people are trying to weaken the revolution, but I will not allow it. Every nonsense, I will debunk it big time, and I'm not joking. If you are going to come out here think you can speak, I'll water you down. It doesn't work. We want our country to function. Anyone who's trying to protect Emerson Mnangagwa, to protect Mnangagwa, to protect every thug, listen, you meet a lot of resistance from the suffering of our people. And once again, I send a shout out to the late, is it Bishop, Archbishop Gutu was a bishop, eh? Yes, Bishop's wife. Listen, that's when I said women sometimes can show you, listen, for those who don't see what God is doing, God is using women to revamp the country. God is doing whatever he's doing because they've realized that men are not serious. If a man can come to LUMUMBA, this is nonsensical. Even as a man, you come here defending rubbish. God is going to use women to bring freedom that he needs. We are expecting men to stand and rally behind GEZA and say, this is it. No, they're coming out to propose Emerson Mnangagwa. It's a brutal regime. Make people suffer in the country. I mean, who does that? And these are the men we expect in society. Something's not right. Something is not right. So, Mama Guti, respect for you. Listen, guys, you don't even know the cases that come with the man that you guys are taking. Some of you will regret it in life. You get cursed because this man, people are crying. Marid's name is Sozid. You don't think that you're going to just take that money and eat it and get away with it. Guys, children are dying. You cannot afford to carry a curse of God. You're not only cursed. Listen, it's one thing for a human being to curse you because God can clean you up. But when God himself curses you, no one can reverse the curse. That's what people don't understand. When God curses you, because that man is cursed, The money that's being stolen in Zimbabwe is going to cause a lot of chaos in future, including all these politicians that are taking money in the country. Let me tell you, their children are going to pay it very hard. It's just a matter of, one day you will remember me. There are so many so-called presidents who did it before. Their children are suffering today because the parents said they were smart. The money you're stashing in foreign lands, all this is going to vanish. The way that you take the money is the way that you're going to lose it. If people are not telling you, I'm telling you now, the same way you took the money is the way that you're going to lose it. This money is cursed. Because let me tell you, guys, you have hurt people long enough. People's tears are prayers. Some people are going right now to bed on empty. People drinking sewer water. God is watching and God is going to answer you. It may sound like a joke. And the God that you are abusing, in Zimbabwe. Wait and see how things are going to turn out. Wait. At least I've warned you and I'm going to say, but I told you. But I told you. I warned you. Do not do stop what you're doing now. Stop taking that money. Mari enemy swordsy. Okay? Okay, if you think you're smart, wait and see how this whole thing is going to turn out. Wait and see how Mnangagwa's children are going to end up. Wait and see how these people will not want to hear anyone who says Mnangagwa in Zimbabwe. I can guarantee you. They won't even get into a club and drink. They won't even walk on the streets. That time is coming because of the pain and the trauma our people are carrying. This hedge is going to stop. I'm just telling you, don't be too comfortable with evil. Zinopera. Guys, zinopera. Okay? I think you could have learned from Mugabe, honestly. I don't know where you guys can learn. You can just learn around you. When children tend to be pornsters, that's failure. When your children tend to be pornsters, it's failure. That's what failure means. Exactly, it's failure. Sorry, y'all. I love you. God bless you and God bless Zimbabwe. Please share the video with others and make sure that at least you stick around as we move. GEZA revolution is alive and kicking. Don't buy into every lie. You remember, guys, there's a lot that needs to be resolved in the country. Okay, so you need to always remember that. Don't be impatient. I can see some people, you're impatient. Guys, how can you be impatient with GEZA who's bring solution, but patient with the suffering? Maybe we need to be intentional, Zimbabweans. You can't be impatient with solutions, but patient with the suffering. Right? Are you for real? We can do it better. I love you guys. Bless you and bless Zimbabwe. Thumbs up the video and I'll see you later, guys. Bye for now. All right.